All right, here we go. So welcome back to another video. I'm going to be talking about Brave today and their massive potential for an engaging story. So if you see my Cars video, which is the only other video I have on this channel as of right now, I said a bunch of times that if animators create an immersive atmosphere, I think that's half the battle in engaging your audience into the story. So what makes an atmosphere immersive? It's not how cool it looks. It's not how many special effects are used. You could have all that and still lose your audience. So it's not about what the audience sees. It's about making the audience excited for what they are about to see. Because once the audience is excited to see the rest of the atmosphere, then they are excited to see the rest of the story in the movie. And that means they are immersed, they are engaged, and they're ready to go. So Pixar did a great job with everything leading up to Brave, specifically the teaser trailers. And the thing I love about most teaser trailers is that they give you the atmosphere of the movie without ruining the story. And when I saw the teasers, I was so intrigued. I had no idea what it was about. I just know there was ancient Scotland, there was Stonehenge, and there was a bow and a bear. And it got me hooked. I was interested in what this movie was going to be about. It seemed like Disney was going to do some, Lord of the Rings type of stuff. So I was down. All right, so first, the movie pulls you in with this crazy intro. You're like, oh man, a cute little girl. And then bam, it's a bear. Like, oh snap, son. And then Brave. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is this going to be? Pixar, Disney, you guys are stepping the game up. And then it introduces you to the great set of characters. You got the rebellious daughter, you got the fun-loving dad, you got the strict mom, and then you got the three little brothers who oftentimes they steal the show.
Scarred with one dead eye. I drew my sword and... What?
Then it had an exciting setting. It had the games.
Let the games begin!
The setting of Brave is that three tribes come from all over the land with three young men to compete for the princess or Merida's hand in marriage. And then you have this problem with Merida where her mom's like, you better marry, you better wear this dress and you better look like a princess. And she's like, no, I don't want to be a princess. And she's like, no, you better wear the freaking dress. And she's like, no, I don't want to be a princess. Oh! And then, that's basically what's going on. So all these elements together, you have a great immersive atmosphere. The stars are aligned. This is a dope atmosphere. Can't wait for the story. Okay, so we're watching the movie. It's fun. It's great. But it's like about a half an hour in or like 40 minutes in, I start to get a little suspicious because no adventure has really started. There was no obvious adventure. So you keep watching. And you think things are gonna kind of pick up when she runs away, and you're like, oh snap, things are about to get started. And then you see these blue things, the blue little flame creatures, and you're like, whoa, like there's like magic in here. And then she stumbles upon the cabin. You're like, whoa, what's in the cabin? Now she walks into the cabin, and something catches me off guard. It's the bears. There's a heavy theme of bears, and it was only bears, and it seemed a little bit too specific. And because it was a little too specific, it seemed a little too random. It seemed too random, and it didn't seem significant. I mean, I'm sure Disney and Pixar did their math with bears and Scotland and ancient Scotland and stuff like that. But then again, it just seemed a little bit too random. Like Emperor's New Groove, they had a variety of animals. It wasn't just one type of animal, and therefore it was kind of fun. It had kind of that fun aspect to it. It didn't seem too targeted on a certain animal, but this one did. So it seemed a little weird. And then she talks to the witch, and then they make a deal. They do some dealing, and then she says, I need a spell to change me mom. And then the witch bakes a cake, and you're like, cool, there's a cake.
A cake?
And then Merida gets the cake, and then she brings it back to her mom. All right, I'm gonna pause right here. And movies, or at least Disney and Pixar movies, when they pitch a film, they know how to make stories where they're big. These are big stories. Something important is at stake. This is a movie. This belongs on the big screen. It's not something small. So, for example, you had like Mulan. Mulan saved like a whole country from the Huns. you got Moana. She saved, I think, the freaking world from a god or a possessed god demon thing. And then this seems kind of smaller scale, but still seems big. Marlin traveled the whole ocean to find his son Nemo, right? Okay, let's get back to Brave. So remember, big stories, right? That's what we're looking for. So Merida brings the cake back to her mom to change her mom's fate, and then the mom eats the cake, and then she turns into the bear, and this is the problem with Brave. This is their big story. The mom turns into a bear. That's it. That's all. That's all they had. The mom turns into a bear. There's nothing at stake. There's nothing really crazy at stake. I mean, yeah, the tribes start getting a little impatient, and then there's Mordu who kind of pursues them here and there. But real quick thing on Mordu is that Mordu didn't really seem like an antagonist. He was just a warrior, a very, power-hungry, bloodlust warrior that turned into a bear from the same witch who just is a one-trick pony. That's all she does. I guess she only turns people into bears. She teaches people's lessons by turning them into bears. I mean, that's her thing. That's her jam. Mordu didn't really seem like an antagonist. He didn't really have a personal vendetta against Merida and her family. He was just a warrior trapped into a bear's body. And even when Mordu got killed, I mean, he gave a nod of approval. He said thank you. So he was a decent guy. He was a good guy. And this was the main story. Her mom turned into a bear, and that was the whole way through. I was hoping it was just one of the side stories, just to, keep side characters busy with stuff. But no, man, Brave, you had everything. I'm telling you, the stars were aligned. You had the characters, you had the setting, you had the atmosphere. But then your story just did not fit your atmosphere. I mean, okay, if Brave did a spin-off show, and if this was season 2, episode 5, then this will be a perfect story. This will be a great story for that episode. Mom turns into bear. Ha ha, that's funny. That wasn't one of my favorites, but it was entertaining. Thank you very much. You had so much potential. You had massive potential for a great story. But the story wasn't really that exciting. So with all that to say, kind of to sum it up, man, big feature films need big stories. A city in danger, a world in danger, someone's life in danger, something very important at stake. Yes, your mom turned into a bear seems pretty important, but it doesn't seem huge compared to what you could have done with that atmosphere. I mean, Brave, or people who worked on Brave, you guys did great. Great atmosphere, great characters. It was funny, it was exciting, but the story just didn't match the great atmosphere that you guys had. I hope you guys make a sequel. I really hope you guys make a sequel that puts Merida and, her family into an adventure that could actually explore this world, because this world has so much potential for a great story. All right, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. I will see you on the next video. Peace.
On the table.
Mom, it's just my bowl.